Buenos días, buenas tardes o buenas noches, depende en la hora. Quiero explicar un poco más sobre puede subir su marque en español. So I want to take just a moment to help remind you of some ways to improve your grade if it's not where you'd like for it to be in Spanish. So remember, there are two places in which you can find your overall grade. That's going to be at the top in grades. All this is in grades. So at the top, as well as at the bottom. Right here, course grade. That's the one where it stands out the best, I think. Now in there are 4 different sections. Each of them is weighted differently depending on basically how important I think it is that you need to be completing these portions of the assignments or types of assessments and assignments. So the first one you always come across is the assessments. Make sure that if you have not turned something in, that you get it turned in as soon as you can, provided you've done all the material up to that point. And if you need to improve something, if something's missing, make sure you're reading my comments and submitting that to me via email or Schoology message. So this person does not have an issue there, so we'll move on, but some of you do. The next one is discussions. These are very important. Notice on here, there's 2 different ways to get information from me. There is the comments that I put in to the right, as well as the rubric itself. So for example, actually I'm not going to look at that one. Let's look at this one because it's lower and can be improved. The 7, you may want to do the 6.25 and the 7, but let's really focus in on the ones that are missing and or are lower, earning a D or lower particular. So this one's a 5.75, kind of on that cusp. So in here, we can see that on here, it says my replies posts include information from my peers posts in the prompt. That's not too bad. How though can we improve? Here is one, include at least 2 comments with 1 peer. So this means I can go back to my discussion by clicking on the discussion itself. And if I'm using Google Chrome, I can do a Control F. Many of you know how to do this in other browsers, but a Control F will pop up a little window at the top, and I can put my name in there and then use the scroll arrows at the top to pop me through so I can see, hey, has somebody already replied to me some time ago, that I can then reply back to them. That would help me with this. And if there's 2 people who have done it, then that can bump me all the way up to advanced. The other one is, did I ask questions? Most likely because it's partially proficient, I have not asked a simple question. Starting with ¿te gusta? ¿Quieres? ¿Por qué? These are all simple ways to ask a question so that you can go in and ask one of your peers a question. I recommend going down towards the bottom and then scrolling up to find somebody to ask a question of, especially if nobody else has replied back to you from previous comments. Because they're the ones who were working on it the most recently. Doesn't mean it was super recent, but it was the most recent. Okay. So also, if you're lower in the first one, identifying or being able to include information, or in using words, phrases, and some sentences, by paying attention to how you reply to others, you can also bump up those areas as needed. If you'd like more information on how to work on through any of the discussions, please contact me. Another one that's important is if when you see a discussion that says charlar, those have to be completed with me. So when you click on there, you'll see the instructions that say go to my calendar, and you have to set up a time in which to complete this. Make sure that's done. Many of you who are earning a lower discussion grade, this is the reason why. The next one, the next grouping is practice activities. So you can go through here and decide, oh, is there anything missing? Now, you really want to focus in on the current, where you've most recently left off. The occasional one missing, I would just keep skipping over it, especially if it's from a while ago. Now, for this particular student, we can see that was last working in Unit 5. So es su turno has to do with the story. You might want to skip that one over. El su coloquio would be one to go back to. Otherwise, you hop in here, and this means U5 means Unit 5, Unidad 5. S25 is going to be Sesión 2. So we go to the second folder in Unit 5, and that's going to help us get there. Another way you can do that quickly instead of going to materials is click on the one just before it and then move through the content from there. Now, don't forget there is a fourth. This is the voice assignments. This is with 10% of your overall grade. So if you're earning an A in everything else and you're missing this, that's going to drop you down to a B. So you just want to make sure that you're going in and doing these as well. So I hope that this helps gives you a little more direction. Please, please, please know that I want you to contact me for help as well. If you're not sure how to get going, if you're not sure how to improve something, I want to hear from you, okay? Y hasta luego.